Imagine a world where a deadly disease didn't just kill millions, but also forced people to wear masks, not for pollution, but to stop the spread of the plague. We're talking about the 17th century bubonic plague and its wild social impact. Picture this. Europe is gripped by terrifying outbreaks, and doctors show up wearing bizarre bird-like masks. Those long beaks weren't just for decoration. They were stuffed with aromatic herbs and spices, believed to protect them from the bad air that spread the disease. These masked doctors became symbols of fear and hope all at once. But the impact went far beyond costumes. Entire cities shut down, markets emptied, and people fled their homes, leading to economic chaos and social upheaval. The plague also sparked early public health measures, quarantines, isolation, and even the first rudimentary forms of contact tracing. Communities learned harsh lessons about sanitation and the importance of controlling disease spread, laying groundwork for modern epidemiology. Yet, it also bred paranoia and scapegoating, with minorities often blamed and persecuted. So the plague changed how societies functioned, how governments responded, and how people related to each other in fear and resilience. It's crazy to think that these terrifying times helped shape the public health practices we rely on today. But there's more to this story. The plague forced people to rethink daily life and social norms. For example, the concept of quarantine, which literally means 40 days, originated in port cities like Venice, where ships suspected of carrying the disease were isolated before passengers could disembark. This was one of the earliest attempts at controlling a pandemic through policy rather than just superstition or prayer. People also began to keep records of who was sick and who had died, an early form of epidemiological tracking that helped officials understand the disease's spread. The social fabric was deeply affected too. With so many people dying or fleeing, communities were fragmented. Traditional gatherings and religious ceremonies were disrupted, leading to changes in how people mourned and supported one another. The fear of contagion altered interpersonal relationships, making trust both more precious and more fragile. Economically, the labor shortages caused by mass deaths shifted power somewhat to the working class, as surviving laborers found themselves in higher demand. This had long-term effects on social hierarchies and economic structures in Europe. Moreover, the plague inspired cultural and artistic responses that reflected society's collective trauma and hope. From somber paintings to literature, the shadow of the plague loomed large, influencing how people made sense of suffering and survival. Fast forward to today, and it's clear how those early experiences with the bubonic plague resonate in our modern responses to pandemics. The masks, the quarantines, the tracing of contacts, these are all echoes of past struggles against invisible enemies. So, here's a question to chew on. What modern habits do you think we'll look back on as the quirky but crucial responses to today's pandemics? Will future generations see our social distancing, hand sanitizers, and remote work as strange but necessary rituals? How will our current challenges shape the societies of tomorrow? The history of the plague teaches us that even in the darkest times, humanity adapts, learns, and finds ways to protect itself, sometimes in the most unexpected ways.